Jai Sri Ram students. Now we are going to discuss about CNS and PNS. Okay, CNS is termed as central nervous system, whereas PNS means peripheral nervous system. One more name of PNS will be ANS, autonomous nervous system. Okay, so PNS and ANS both are same process, right? Okay, so first we'll discuss about central nervous system. This is one of the most important part of our body, right? It includes brain as well as spinal cord, right? And this will coordinate all the neural system in our body. That means whatsoever function happens in our body, they are directly or indirectly coordinated with the help of CNS. Getting right? So when it comes to CNS, our first topic will be brain. So first we'll discuss about the physical appearance of the brain, how it looks like, and then we'll discuss about how it works. Okay? Right. Now, if you see, when compared to the body weight, see, body to weight ratio means compared to the body size and the weight of the brain. If you compare these two for any animals, including human being's brain is the largest one. If I say elephant brain will be larger, but compared to the size of the elephant body, its brain is very small. Getting? So body size and brain size, if we compare, human brain is the largest in terms of ratio. Getting? Obviously that could be one of the reasons why it is very intelligent also. Right? And very creative. And human brain is present in a hard box type of structure, which is called as cranium. Now sometimes when you hit on our head, we'll get some sound. That is because of the cranium. Inside of that we have our brain. Okay, right. So when we hit our head, actually we are not touching our brain. We are actually hitting the cranium, which is like a bone. Right. Inside that we have our brain. And that cranium will protect our brain from many minor injuries. Right. Now if you look at, our brain is completely covered by 3-layer membranes. Those 3 layers are called as meninges. And these meninges are continuous and covers till the spinal cord. That means our brain is covered by 3-layer membranes that will start from the brain and will go down till spinal cord. Right. And between every layer membrane, there is one fluid. That fluid is called as cerebrospinal fluid. So there are 3 layers. Between every layer we have the fluid, which is called as cerebrospinal fluid. This cerebrospinal fluid will protect our brain from small injuries again. It will protect from small shocks and as well as small injuries. Right? Clear? So, which fluid will protect our brain from injuries? Cerebrospinal fluid. Okay? Right, so clear up to this. Next, mainly, see student, now little bit nerve cells. So when we discuss about the nerve cells, you must know that nerve cells have the axon and cell body. Okay, these two are the major parts of the nerve cells. Now, the nerve cell bodies come together to form grey matter. So in our brain 2 color matters will be there, grey matter and white matter. Grey matter is formed when all the cell bodies will come together, and white matter is formed when all the axons will come together. Okay, so when all the axons of nerve cells come together, then that is called as white matter. When all the cell bodies will come together, that is called as grey matter. And this grey matter is present at the periphery. Periphery means boundary. Right, this grey matter is present on the boundary of our brain. Right, white matter is present at the center. Okay, white matter will be present at the center. It is shown in the diagram. Okay, so now, as we already studied the function of the brain as a control center. See, brain works like a control center. That means whole body's activities are controlled by our brain here. Getting with this point everyone? Right? So this is about the some general information about the brain till here. Right. Now we'll see the division of the brain. Okay? Right. So directly we'll see our brain can be considered as three division into three parts. Forebrain, midbrain, hindbrain. And about them we have to read in details now. Once go through diagram is also important. See, first we'll discuss about the forebrain and the parts which are available in the forebrain here. Okay? See, in the forebrain we have the olfactory lobes. Now these olfactory lobes looks like club shaped, right? And first you have to explain about their shape, and they are visible from the ventral side, means interior sides. And what is their function? Their function is to sense the smell. From the name itself we can understand. Olfactory means they are helpful in sensing the smell of anything, right? Next, one part completed from the forebrain. Second part, cerebrum. See, cerebrum consists of two lobes, and those two lobes are called as cerebral hemisphere. How many hemispheres are there? Two hemispheres. Okay? Right. And the surface of the cerebrum, that means if you look at the surface of the cerebrum, it has so many folds. Folds means like up and downs. Right. The part which are elevated means coming upward, they are called as gyri. And the one which is depressed, those are called as sulci. Clear? Right. And sulci are very important. They divide each hemisphere into how many parts? Four lobes. See, how many hemispheres are there? Two hemispheres. Every hemisphere is divided into four lobes. Who is going to divide that hemisphere into four lobes? Sulci. Okay? Getting with this? These are the division of the cerebrum. Now, corpus callosum connects the two hemispheres. See, just now we discussed initially, there are two hemispheres. Between two hemispheres, there is one part which is called as corpus callosum. This is the connection between both the hemispheres. Information from one hemisphere to another hemisphere will pass through this corpus callosum. Clear about the function of the this cerebrum structure, right? So now its function. That's what you have to do. Parts and their function, right? Now what is the function of the cerebrum? See, it will decide. It will decide the mental ability of our means our mental ability depends on cerebrum. Control thinking means our thinking is controlled by cerebrum. Our memory depends on cerebrum. Our reasoning. See, there are many questions nowadays in 10th class they are giving you in board exam. Explain the reason. Paragraph they'll give and they'll ask you to explain about it. Observe and explain. Those all comes under reasoning. Right. We must know what's happening there. By reading the one diagram, we must know what's happening. So this all depends on this part only. Right. And our perfection means how we are understanding everything. See, teachers will teach in the same way. Some students will understand it perfectly. Some students will not understand because their brain is not focusing properly. Getting? So our way of understanding everything depends on cerebrum. Right. How perfectly we are receiving the information. Next, as well as our emotions, means our way of angerness, etc., etc. Our speeches, everything depends on cerebrum. Getting to this point? Right. So many functions we have here. And as well as it will even respond to the cold, heat, pain and pressure. So if any external changes will be sensed by us with the help of cerebrum. So clear about this? Right. This we are still in the forebrain only. Next, dancephalon. Shape of the dancephalon will be rhombus. You must need to remember these are long answers. Within this one question, 2-3 questions can be generated in board exam. Right. It is rhombus shape. Again, it is visible from the interior part of our brain. That means if we cut the brain from top, we cannot see this. We have to move from interior part. Then only we can see this. And where it lies between cerebrum and midbrain. And it is divided into two parts. Diencephalon divided into thalamus as well as hypothalamus. Right. and they are the control center for endocrine system. Endocrine system means ductless glands. You read about this? Right. So ductless glands are controlled by diencephalon only. Okay? Like releasing insulin by our pancreas. These all are controlled by diencephalon. See some more functions. It relays center for sensory impulses. Sensory impulses means these are those impulses which will take signal to our brain. Like somebody is pinching here, we'll feel the pain here. That information will be taken to brain by sensory impulses. Right. Somebody is flashing light on us. Our eyes will feel that information. From eye, that information will go to brain with the help of sensory impulses. So who will control the sensory impulses? Diencephalon. Right. As well as reflex center. See, somebody is pinching here. Suddenly we'll beat that or no? Suddenly we'll punch that place. Right. Suppose mosquito is biting us. Even though the pain, we can feel the pain. Can we keep quiet? We'll suddenly beat there. So who is giving these reflexes? Obviously our brain is sending the information. Who will help us to bring that information? Again, diencephalon. Through the reflex nerves. Okay? Next, it is even going to control the some emotions like anger. Anger is controlled by diencephalon. Most of the emotions are controlled by this one, cerebrum. But some of the emotions like anger is controlled by diencephalon. Okay? And our water balance in our body, blood pressure, fever, sleeping, hungerness, this all depends on diencephalon. Getting with this point? And in this, one more we read hypothalamus. This will control the pituitary glands. Right, those will release the hormones in our body. Okay? So clear about the one part. Now we completed with the forebrain completely. Now we'll be discussing about midbrain. See, this is a small, thick, stacked portion. Stacked portion means it is a portion where things will be arranged one upon the other. Stacking. Right. And the major part of it, the main work is, it is like a connection between forebrain and the bones of the hindbrain. So between forebrain and hindbrain, the connection is midbrain. Okay? And what does it does now? Functions are, it relays motor impulses from cerebral cortex to the spinal cord and relays sensory impulses. See, motor impulses means, just now I said already in another topic, if somebody pinching you, information will go from this part to brain through the motor impulses. Right. And the brain has to give the response, and that should come to, suppose my this hand, then that is, who will bring that impulses? Those are called sensory impulses. Who will bring that? Sensory nerves. Motor nerves will take the motor impulses, that means signal from the point where some changes will happen to the brain, and brain will give some response that will be brought by sensory nerves. Those impulses are called as sensory impulses. So what it does, it helps the motor impulses from cerebral cortex to spinal cord, not from the point where it's happening. It will help from cerebral cortex to spinal cord, and sensory impulses from spinal cord to thalamus. Right. So in between these two, cerebral and spinal cord, it will help the motor impulses, and between spinal cord to thalamus, it will help the sensory impulses. And at the same time, it acts like a reflexes for sight and hearing. Means suppose suddenly some sound comes, will respond very quickly. That reflexes are guided by midbrain. So any reflexes which happen because of light in the sense sight, like suddenly if you see some horrible faces, will scare or not? Horrible sound, will suddenly respond to them. These all responses are because of midbrain. Right? कुछ ऐसा खतरनाक दिख गया, कुछ भयानक डरावना, एकदम सडनली रिफ्लेक्ट करेंगे, और रिफ्लेक्शन कहाँ से होगा? मिड ब्रेन के कारण. गेटिंग? So sight and hearing reflexes are controlled by midbrain. Clear about the midbrain now? Now hindbrain. This is the last part of the brain and it consists of cerebellum and medulla oblongata. So in these two parts are there. Okay? First we'll read about cerebellum. Cerebellum is present below the cerebrum and above the medulla oblongata. This is the position. And cerebellum consists of two cerebellar hemisphere. In this, how many hemispheres are there? Two. And its main works are maintaining posture. See, whether we are sitting straightly, walking straightly, or walking like drunken person. You know how the drunken person will walk? So whether we are walking like a drunken person or a joker or like a proper human being, this all is controlled by this part of our brain. Right? Our walking abilities, our standing, sitting abilities, everything will be controlled by this part. Right? Clear? And as well as our muscle tones, and at the same time it coordinates voluntary movements initiated by cerebrum. So whatever the action is started by cerebrum will be coordinated by cerebellum. मतलब cerebrum जो भी action करता उसको support कौन करता? Cerebellum. Getting? Right? And whether we are walking straightly, sitting straightly or not, this is all controlled by this only, cerebellum. Okay? Clear about this? Next, medulla oblongata. See, it looks like triangular in shape. And medulla oblongata will extend from pons to spinal cord. So, pons are present in hindbrain. From there it will start and it will reach till spinal cord. And whatever is activity functions, cardiac functions means our breathing, our heartbeat will be controlled by this. Respiratory means our breathing, respiratory and vasomotor activities related to our breathing part. Right, so cardiac and respiration will be controlled by this. And vasomotor is an action which refers to the action upon a blood vessel which alters diameter. See, depending upon many things, our blood vessel diameter will change. Sometimes diameter will increase, sometimes it will decrease. That's called as vasomotor. This all will be controlled by medulla oblongata. And as well as it will help in the reflexes like swallowing, cough, sneeze, vomiting. So in these four parts, it will help the reflexes. See, sneezing. Can we control the sneezing? It's the reflex. We cannot control the reflexes. Right, vomiting. We cannot control this. These are the reflexes. Who will help in that reflexes? Medulla oblongata. Getting with this point? So this was the part of our brain. So under this CNS, our first part was brain. Clear about this? Right? So we'll end this video here. CNS first part. In second part we'll discuss spinal cord. Right?